Hey, everybody. We thought we'd start the day off with a win, which is kind of nice for a Thursday. I feel like it's Friday, but it's Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's a case that we worked on out on the West Coast for a person that worked for the Interior Department, the Parks Department, and was also a Trump supporter, and he had simply had a Trump bumper sticker on his car.
Yeah, he had some bumper stickers on his car, and after a job that he had done for years and years and years, I guess a couple complaints, if they're even really considered complaints, were enough to have him, lose his job or lose his rights.
No, he lost his job too.
Just having his car parked in a parking lot. It wasn't like he was out there doing anything crazy, but because it was a quote unquote political message, just really, I mean, what most people have, which is a bumper sticker, a few bumper stickers of their car, of who they're supporting. That was enough to be it, and we were able to get some finality to this.
This gentleman had worked at the Parks Department for 10 years. He was actually awarded the Award of Excellence and Volunteer of the Year for his services above and beyond the call of duty, his integrity, and his courteous and kind manner with everyone who meets him. So this was a stellar employee, and he gets fired because of one complaint that he has bumper stickers on his car.
Nothing that he actually said or it impacted his work or anything like that.
Yeah, wasn't going up to people making political statements. This was just parking in a parking lot.
Nope. And the policy was very broad, and so we brought suit and we settled this, and they've changed their policy, and we have a really good win on this.
Yeah, they issued him back pay and all of that. And it's a good time to actually see, specifically we're going into a political season. We know we're about to have a very crazy year.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
We may have a crazy couple of weeks coming up right here.
Couple of weeks, but it's certainly a 2024. And you need to know what your rights are and where we can help you out as well on whatever political side you're on or whoever you're politically supporting, that they can't just come in and do this.
Well, there's a guy who just had the bumper sticker on his car, doesn't say anything, gets fired. We end up getting him his back pay too. But just put that back on the screen again. How many of these do you see every hour during political season? I mean, this is... he's got his he was also obviously he was in the military. He was a sergeant in the military, which we know from the litigation. Anyways, the case has been resolved successfully, and that is good news for our client and good news for free speech. Talking about free speech, the Supreme Court granting review on one of the January 6th protesters' claims that utilizing the obstruction of Congress statute, interfering with an operation of a congressional act, was actionable under these indictments that came under Jack Smith and the DOJ. And it was a 2-1 decision at the Court of Appeals. Two judges say that they were constitutional, but Judge Castas, who I know and is a great judge, Castas was also in the White House counsel's office, so he knows what's at play here, wrote an excellent dissent. I think that dissent is what got the case granted review, and I think there is a realistic chance that they curb significantly what constitutes a violation of what's called Section 1512. And because you have to carve out free speech protections, especially when you're dealing with core political speech.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, what we're seeing is speech is what has been targeted. We've seen that from the Biden administration a lot. And here, this is a case that's going up with Trump and this case of the insurrection, or what they say is an alleged insurrection, and is free speech going to be targeted by that?
Importantly, the Supreme Court will hear a dispute over an obstruction law used to prosecute the January 6th defendants, and the case has direct implications for Jack Smith's indictment of Donald Trump. So keep in mind there are 4 counts to the indictment, and 2 counts are related to Section 1512, and a second count would be blocked by Trump's claim of absolute immunity. If those decisions go in Trump's favor, then I think the case against Donald Trump collapses.
Yeah, I agree.
And this will create momentum in Trump's favor, I would argue, with respect to other litigation.
It's going to take time. So March 4th is quickly coming up. And so just like the judge is saying, she no longer has jurisdiction. It's very hard to see a March 4th date staying true.
Well, she says in her order, considering at the time whether to retain or continue the dates of any future deadlines of proceedings, including whether I can schedule the trial for March 4th, the court emphasizes that these are all held in abeyance right now. I was actually surprised, Harry, that the Department of Justice has taken the view that this would not qualify for presidential immunity because they've got it. There's a Democrat in office, so you've got a Democratic administration. The same rules will apply to him.
Absolutely.
And the idea that you can start filing suits or bring criminal cases against presidents because you didn't like the policies they implemented or the words they said at a speech or their activities about the election, which is all core what they do as commander-in-chief and chief executive of the United States, is really scary.
It is absolutely scary. And if we take for a moment the situation in Ukraine, it's very possible that the facts on the ground will later prove that many of the statements that President Biden made in support of Ukraine were indeed untrue. Can we now then criminalize those statements once he's out of office?
And our answer to that would be no. Because I don't think you can function as the president. You're gonna report on things that aren't right. Facts are gonna change.
Right.
I mean, I got a lot of flack when I said that years ago. Facts develop, facts evolve, but facts do evolve. What was a fact may not 2 years later look like it was correct. It could have not been a fact, but at the time it seemed relevant.